Hello, and welcome to the series KAAI Women Around the World, a show where we interview our KAAI community to see how they organize their lives. Our KAAI microphone traveled all over the world to get all the ins and outs about their daily routines. Are you traveling with us?
Hello everyone, for this new episode, our KAAI mic did not travel far. We stayed in Belgium because today we are meeting with Angélique Van Gils. She is the founder of Café Costume and Pursuit Femmes. Both companies make tailor-made suits. She's no longer active in Café Costume, but she's building her new company together with her two daughters.
She is an entrepreneur, an expert in what she does, a mom, and she has an affinity with beautiful and powerful fashion. We are very eager to talk to her today and to get to know the ins and outs of her daily routines. Welcome, Angelique.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Super nice to be here with you. To start things off, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, I can. So, as you introduced me, my name is Angelique. I'm just turned 50 this year, and I was born in Athens, Greece, and then afterwards we moved to Morocco. So, I also lived in Morocco, and then at the age of 6, I went to Belgium, where I stayed. I have two daughters, Joy and Jill, who actually are my co-founders of Pursuit, our company. And I have my husband, Harold, where is like, how do you say, a high school sweetheart. So I'm already with him since I'm 15. I always say almost 16. And so we're 35 years together. And we have a dog, Charlie, an English bulldog. So that's a bit like a rep, like who I am shortly.
Cool.
And you've been born into a family where you make tailor-made suits, right?
Yeah. So actually, I'm the first in the third generation. I was the firstborn grandchild of my grandfather, Miel Van Gils, who actually started after World War. He started his business with his bike to make suits for men, and then gradually it grew into making more suits, and then going into making in Belgium, and then going abroad. That's why actually, as a child, I went abroad because they had to open and making production companies outside of Belgium. And then, the second generation, my father and his two brothers continued. And then me as a third generation, I started with my cousins in the tailor-made suits for men. And now, 18 months ago, I started with my daughters, Joy and Jill, this new venture from women, for women, like Pursuit Femmes tailoring for women.
That's a very impressive career into everything that's custom-made costumes.
Yes, and it's also what is nice is because it's empowering women. So we really have the mission to we say, like, you know what, we have so many women who have talent, and actually we want to help the women doing their talent, because it's scary to do your thing. And we say, like, by dressing you in a nice suit, which really is made for you, we believe that you can really even outperform yourself. And by doing this, you also are a role model for the next generation. So it really, it makes us really happy to see all the women we've dressed already, and it can be young, old. So it's really nice to be like in the women tailoring business, actually.
Yeah, and I think if there's one piece in your wardrobe that is timeless, and then I think it's the costume that you can wear through. It's not something that you change every year like other pieces in your wardrobe.
No, it's like women have, the shoes that they have like in all colors. I don't have that. I have it with suits. So I have
I can imagine. We would prefer suits as well.
Yeah.
Two absolutely suit fans.
Yes, it is. Good. Cool.
Well, we're going to talk about you and your family and how that works a little bit further in our podcast. But we want to start off with another question. This podcast is made to meet all women around the world, all kinds of women. So we send our KAAI mic to different corners and to learn about the daily routines of women all around the world. So I'm very curious to hear what a day in the life of Angelique looks like.
Okay, my day starts early. I'm an early bird. So actually I'm 5 already. My eyes are open and go like, it's day. But, it's really early to already jump out of your bed. But it's how I feel then. So at 6:30, regularly I go out. And then I have like this kind of ritual where I do some yoga and breathing. So I've once I went to this person in Amsterdam, and he learned me how to breathe, and I got like, whoa! I was so impressed. And from that, actually, every day, I'm just doing these breathing exercises because it really enlarges your lung capacity. And so it gives you more strengthening. So this is something I really do. Then a bit of yoga, meditation, depends, not every day, because the other day I run. So I take like around an hour in the morning to really have what you're calling me time. It's Angelique time. It's just, waking up, just my energy before I leave, which mostly this morning was 7:30, but normally it's around 8 that I go wherever I need to go for the day. But that's already only the morning, I guess. And then, when I can, I try to prepare as well, if I can, for the food lunch as well, to say like, okay, we need to have food to have a good lunch. Because I believe if you work hard, you need to have your good food as well, that you see that you're in balance. And every day, with an entrepreneur is different. We always laugh, Joy, Jill, and I, that we say like every day we have an agenda, and every day is like goes totally different. But that's how it is. So we try to have an agenda. We try to make it, and then we reorganize it, and then mostly in the evenings, I try to go in to sleep at like 10:30, because I really believe if you take your 8 hours, that you have like enough sleep. And again, having good food. And then, for example, now tonight I'm having art classes, drawing once a week, which is really nice to do something totally different than what you're doing during the day, to just click your mind and take it off from Outlook and all the things that we're busy with during the day.
Nice. And it helps with your inspiration and creativity as well? Or not at all?
Yes. Well, what do you mean?
If you go do something else in the evening where you can just log off, but do something totally different?
Exactly. It really, even padel, I started padel with friends, and I didn't think I would like it that much. And it's really so much fun, because you laugh, you play a game, your mind, it gets the click of doing something differently. And that's really cool to, again, reload yourself for the next day, because, we work. I like to work because I have a cool job, but still, it takes energy, and you need to. I really think you need to focus to also get the energy back to really take care of your source. That your source is always replenished and able to give. Otherwise, it's one. If you just do one way, at the end you feel like. So that's it's impossible.
No, that's very, very true. We also are two big fans of everything that's deconnecting from what's work, and then to start with work or end the day differently than what you started with. We absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. Do you think you're unique in that sense for Belgium? Or do you think that people who you surround yourself with are quite alike and do similar routines in the morning and in the evenings? Or do you think in Belgium they struggle with it?
I don't really know, but I can really get inspired by people doing this, because what I always say is like what we are doing is kind of the top sport is like playing sports on a high level. And if you play sports on a high level, you really need to you take care of the whole package. So it's really important. And I wish that more people did it, but it's up to everybody to see how they feel that it's good for them to start the day, because some people are not early birds, and that's a thing that you can't decide. So I think maybe in the United States they will have more, or in I don't know, but I don't think there's, I don't know, can't tell you actually.
I'm thinking about what is typical for Belgium.
I think we tend to...
we want to get up very early. I think there's something that a lot of people want to do it, but we don't necessarily succeed in getting up early and doing all the things that we want to do in the morning.
And I think we're quite... we tend to stay in our house during the evening a lot. I think we go out during the weekends, but I think... very often we end up in the couch watching Netflix.
It's true.
I think, again, it's just something.
Yeah, it's something that you think by seeing other people around you.
Yeah.
No, but you've mentioned earlier that you started a company with your cousins. Your parents were also in the business of everything that has something with suits. Now you're having this business with your two daughters, so you've always worked together with families. Is it hard to balance the work life with family, and then on the other hand, your me time and your social life, to keep it like separate? But then again, it's your family, so you're a lot together.
Yeah, we're a lot together, but I think because for me, I come from a family which is family business. For me, it feels very natural. So I've never known that it's different. So I've always been in this situation. So for us, for me, it feels really natural. Although now with my daughters, I really try to have like so I don't know if you can see, but I'm wearing this bracelet. It's like a centimeter bracelet, and I always say, like, when I'm wearing this, I'm working. And if I go home, I take that off, because it's like a kind of, for me, like, okay, now I'm working, now not. And I try with Joy and Jill as well to see like that we really try at home when we're with Harold, my husband, their father, that we just try to talk about private things and not the business, because you can, with the business, you can go on the whole time, but it's really important, as you said, to deconnect. And so we really try to deconnect. And or if it's really I need to say this something to you, that you say like, okay, is it okay for you that I'm talking about this now? Because we even mentioned that after 7:30 at night, we don't send WhatsApps regarding work anymore, and not before 8:30 in the morning. So we can really, otherwise you go on and on. So that's how we try to make kind of boundaries.
Yeah. And do you feel like your daughters have the same idea of running a business or going into the fashion industry like you had a couple of years ago? Do you feel the same energy around that, or was it like a bit harder to convince them to get
they
into
wanted
this
they
you?
were actually, they wanted to join. They were like, oh, I really want to join, Mom. And one was saying like, and I said like, so the oldest, Joy, just ended her university, master marketing, and she said like, so I thought like, oh, you're gonna have like a nice job now. She's like, no, I want to start this company with you. And I go like, oh. So we discussed, and then the youngest, Jill, who already had her own brand, Jill Antwerp, said like, yeah, but you know what, I also want to join. So then we agreed like, okay, Jill, because you have your own company, we want that your brands will come in our company, because otherwise you have two companies and it makes it, then you will work with us and say like, okay, but now I need to work for my company. So we said like, if we're going to do this with three, we all have the same focus. So we actually bought her brand in our Pursuit. So in Pursuit, we have Jill Antwerp and Pursuit Femmes.
Okay.
Okay.
And what are the biggest takeaways or learnings so far that you experienced from working with your two daughters?
Always, talk things through. So always like, if something's happening, and if it's communication is rule number one. We've had so many miscommunications, and even if you had a bad miscommunication day, that at the end of the day we just got like, okay, so what did we learn about this? And everybody has his own stress, his own things. And for example, being creative, Jill is very creative, and with Joy, who is really into sales. And I always say like, it's really good that you are, like if you want to have diamonds, you need to like stones who need to
polish them.
You need to polish them. So they need to polish, and polishing can be like, like, but I want a nice thing. Yeah. And the other one says, no, but it needs to sell. And so if these two get together, then you have like the best combination. And the day they won't do that anymore, then I will be worried, because then it's, you don't have the passion anymore. So both have the passion, one for sales, the other one for the creation. And these two need to get in a form which works. And and it's affordable. That's where I come as well. And
Okay, so besides the owner of this company, you're also mom for your two daughters. Did you introduce anything into your life to help you juggle between it all?
Meaning like between my daughters and myself, or in
and everything. It could be like a family coach or a nanny that helps you with the courses at home, or something that just helps you to balance all the different kind of things into your life.
Yeah, but I was, to help me help me with the work-life balance. I have to start with my mom, their grandmother, which is like the best. My mom is there behind the scenes, also being like fan and always watching, and where she can help, she will help. Even my father, and we at home for myself. But then it's more like also about nutrition or doing this. For example, like HelloFresh, or having like things making your life easier, really helps in working your way. What we're doing. Is that a bit what you're asking? A bit like the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, good. What else do I have? What else did I have? Now I'm waiting about maybe that's more like on my fridge at home. I have like this big metal, magnets from Monday to Sunday, and every week I rewrite it and I just put in the highlights. And for me, it's really like, by going in the kitchen, you always see like, oh, okay, I need to go to Amsterdam this week. Oh, podcast. Oh, this or this. So that makes it more easy to see like globally what's going on for the week. So this is also which helps. And then, of course, somebody who helps get our house cleaned and organized. And I'm so grateful for her. She is like family for us. And she was already there since I was, since the kids were young, and 2 times a week. But it really helps to have your life organized, and it gives rest when you come home, that your house is also, clean.
Yeah, that gives peace of mind.
And really.
Yeah. We talked about it already a little bit, but what do you think are some typical things that Belgians do to organize their lives which are different than the rest of the world?
You know what Belgians do? They're always very prepared. And I think like this is really, I've also worked in the Netherlands. And what I also thought, when you go in a meeting in Belgium, people are prepared. They are really like, I think we learned it at school, to always prepare your housework, prepare everything you do. And if you're well prepared, you know your materie, you know what you need to say. And then you know more deeper. And for example, in the Netherlands, it can also be like it's more spontaneously that you work on what's happening at that time. And I think Belgians are really well prepared. Belgians, I was also thinking, are really hoe zeg je dat, more conservative, not really, they don't jump immediately on something. They will really overthink things before they do it. So they are, if you do something, you do it well, you organize it well. And maybe also like, what I really like here, I saw it because I was in Amsterdam, is that people are really nicely dressed, hair well done. They really take care of how they look. So looks are the people are really, they take care of how they look and how they are.
Okay. Didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, no, me neither. But when you were saying it, I was like, oh yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
And another cliche maybe for Belgium is that we're not very good at taking risks. That we are, you said it already, conservative. For me, that goes together. How do you perceive it? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Yes, but how do we say? I really think it's charming that Belgians are not really like, wow, I need to talk a lot. They are more, how do you say? I don't find the right word that you say, like,
introverted, more into themselves.
Yeah, more introvert and bescheiden. How do you say?
Modest.
Modest. And that's one kind, which is nice. But on the other hand, we were also like in a startup started at KBC, and we really learned much more for pitching and doing, like, come on, do it. And that would be really much more like, I want to say, like, come on, jump, just do it. We don't tend to like to fall and make a bit like bruises, and actually you learn from having bruises. So just jump and do it. And sometimes I think maybe because of school as well, Joyce said it, you overthink so much about things that you forget to jump. So sometimes stop thinking and just jump, and it's okay. So, and then you'll see what happens. You learn by not, and then even you don't jump by not thinking, but jump a bit earlier than to overthink it till the end.
Yeah, because if you overthink, you tend to not do it anyway. Yeah,
exactly.
And
exactly.
And it's what you said about the failures. We don't really like to fail.
It is.
And in Belgium, a lot of people, when you fail a company or something, you don't really get another loan, or other people see you as failures. And that's very different from other countries in the world, where like in the US, banks are more prepared to offer you a loan when you've already had a failing business and stuff. So that's something really typical in Belgium.
Totally agree. That's and as well, perceiving like if you're an entrepreneur and if you're successful, it always had like he or she's making a lot of money, but it's also working very, very, very hard, and and taking risks, not knowing, and you're here, but at the end you need to every night you're like thinking like, but we need to do this and this. So it's also having a lot of responsibilities and risks you take, and
it's true. And I think it goes together with what your daughter said, that in school we tend to be overthink things, try to be perfect at things. If we fail, we have to like take extra lessons to make sure that we pass.
Exactly.
So we are in Belgium. I think it's very typical for our country. We're much more focused on not being a failure rather than to experience new things or try out new things and start over. I think that's way more the focus here.
And also a bit like how I see it is that we in Belgium learn how to be basic and good enough in everything, instead of being very, very good in one thing, in one specific thing. We learn to be basic in a lot of things and get to know a lot of things, instead of being really, really good in one thing.
True. It's true.
This is a really, really nice talk, and we are going to ask you one last more question, and it is, what is the best advice that you would like to give other businesswomen here in Belgium or around the world from lessons that you've learned through the years?
Yeah, well, lesson is, I always say like one word is loslaten, and that's called let go. Just do it, just do it. And you, as a woman, maybe always go like, oh, shall I do it? Shall I not? Blah, blah, blah. No, just do it. And, take the fear, feel the how do you say, in your belly, you feel that it's really, really, you're very scared, etc. But anyway, just do it. And that's an advice I would really give. And surround yourself with peers, like people like you, also entrepreneurs who say like, I'm also doing this, because then you can really share your experiences, because it's really different to share your experience with somebody who's having a job and gets paid every month, or sharing your experience with somebody who's also still here, like with loans, and say like, oh, how should I do it? Because then you get like total different advice. And this is something somebody also told me, and I thought like, okay, yes, thank you. So yes, that'll be my advice.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's been an honor talking to you. You look amazing,
likewise.
by the way, in your blue costume, in your blue suit.
Thank you.
We're saying costume a lot, but it's a Dutch word, but actually it's suit. We have to say suit.
It's a suit, and it's a tailored suit. And it is nice talking to you, and really nice what you're doing out there as well for women. So it's really empowering.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you, Angelique, and we hope to see you again around here in Belgium. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.